Big ass headphones, boy.
So I can hear you speaking clearly. Yo, welcome back to another episode of House of hdsports podcast. My name is Dwayne. I'm here with my guy Smooth. Chubbs will be joining us a little bit later in the show. But we're going to kick this show off, before we get started, tell you guys what we're talking about today. Obviously, we're talking about the conference finals. What's everything that's been going on there. Having a little discussion about Luka versus JT, a re-going conversation on this podcast. Then we're going to switch over to NFL, give you guys some more power rankings for teams post-draft, post-free agency, and many, many other things, man. Smook, how are you feeling today, man? I'm good. This is a very, very exciting day. You can see us together, just us on, the ultimate topic of who we feel like the best player is. But feeling good. Wearing that Boston green. In honor, but glad.
In honor of Jaylen Brown.
We know that was a fluke.
But
we're not gonna be nasty about it. I'm not gonna be nasty about it.
So we was talking about this earlier in the podcast. Before we go, y'all know where to find us. hdsportspod everywhere. I looked today. I ain't uploaded audio in a while. All audios are gonna be up by Friday, including this one. But Smooth. You don't think he deserved that Eastern Conference MVP? Obviously, the first talk about the Celtics, right? The Celtics sweep the Pacers, right? And a lot of people say the Pacers did. I felt like this was the first time they were actually tested, even though they swept them, because they had to come back and win games. The only issue I have with is in these next series, we think they're going to face the Mavericks. I don't think if they go down 18, they can get there. But before we get to that, Pacers, Celtics, tell me what you like. Celtics obviously swept. Tell me what you like, and then tell me if you think Jaylen Brown actually deserved to win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
First of all, I like the fact that they got it done in 4. Didn't waste any time. I think I also like the fact that Joe Mazzulla didn't play KP. I was kind of questioning maybe he should have got a game in to get him ready for the finals. Get him some minutes jogging up and down the court maybe. But ultimately, good decision. Ended up beating about 3 points. It was a very close series. Tyrese Halliburton obviously didn't play. Some teams not play better, but can play well without a star, which is why I feel like games are closer. Well, this game was closer than it should have been. But
what do you mean by that? I just want to get. What do you
when I say that, I feel like when you don't have a star on the team, that means the team plays kind of more team basketball. In essence,
crazy, bro.
Yeah, and I feel like, man, it might be a crazy take. A lot of players who are rotational players, obviously starters and rotational players, had the ability to on any given night.
I don't think that's a hot take, unless you're Rudy Gobert. I would never see Rudy Gobert.
So when these guys come out and do that, I feel like it's not like but I like to see it. But like I said, not having a star, other guys are able to step up, play team basketball. And I think that's what they did. We see it with other teams, throughout the league. But Celtics got it done. They play team basketball, great defense. We had the debate about impact as far as Jrue Holiday goes.
Let's talk. I want to talk about that on the podcast because you believe Jrue Holiday's impact is literally just the same as the impact Marcus Smart provided in the previous years. And to me, that's mind-boggling, but we'll keep going.
I think that for the Celtics, it was. Again, I'm not saying that Jrue Holiday is or is not the better player. That's for y'all to debate. But I think for the Celtics, they're so well crafted as a team.
as far as physical stature goes, they're the same kind of build. Defensive players first on any given night can come out and give you a good 20, 25, get some threes, get some steals. Marcus Smart. Dwayne, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make me pull it up.
You don't have to pull it up. You gonna have
Don't
to
make me pull it up. Don't make me pull it up.
On any given night, you might.
All right, so let's put it this way: not on any given night. On any given night that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are pooping it up. How about
Who's
that?
more likely to do that?
Back then, it was Marcus Smart and Derek White.
I'm saying between Jrue Holiday and Marcus Smart, who is more likely to do that?
Who is more likely to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, who is proven to do it?
Who's proven to do what? Score 20 to 25 if needed?
Mm-hmm. Has Marcus Smart done it?
Like, what are you talking
Wait,
about?
no, I'm asking. So has Marcus Smart not done that in the playoffs for the Celtics before? I mean, Jrue Holiday has not had to do it because obviously Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have developed way more over the past 2 years, which is when what I'm referring to. And even I feel like you're referring to more so last year when they had Malcolm Brogdon.
No. I'm looking at it right now. He got a couple 20-point games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, I be watching the Celtics and critiquing them, bro. So like, I just feel like
his career high is 27 in the playoffs.
That's a good game.
2017.
Are there games in which he dropped more than JT? I know it's a lot of games he dropped more than JB.
There's probably some games where he, did.
But
for the most part, in the playoffs, he is a career 12.8 average in 108 games.
Which is, I don't think that's bad, being the option.
Yes, but I think for you to say some impact, because I see what Jrue Holiday is doing on less usage. So less, like, I think one of the reasons why you guys weren't as good as you were because you kind of relied on Marcus Smart playmaking, which wasn't the best in the past couple previous years because JT's wasn't there yet. And I think obviously we could say watching them play right now, like for example, I've never seen like the timely buckets, like especially in the fourth quarter. I see like Marcus Smart, he would hit like an open three, timely, right? But I'm seeing Jrue Holiday off the dribble. Like I don't need that many shots, but
yeah.
And that's the defensive impact for me. He can guard more positions. We both agree he's a better defender, and I think he's doing.
That's up for the fans to debate because
you don't
I only say because Dwayne, he has like obviously we feel like he shouldn't have won that defensive player of the year, but even if he didn't, he still would have been first team all defense. So that's still
first team on defense.
Exactly. Same impact.
I'll say it's up for debate. I want you to look at me in the camera and answer this question. Who is the better defender?
Man, bro, I'm gonna say they're the same.
They're the same, dude.
Bro, I'm sorry. I have to stand on it, bro. That's not a cop. I feel like
you gotta stand on it. So
they're literally the same.
I don't feel like, stand on it to prove try to prove your point.
All right.
That's why you standing on it.
All right, so go back to when Jrue Holiday was playing. He wasn't playing with Giannis.
He was still one of the best defenders in the league when he was in New Orleans.
I understand that, but
he locked Damian Lillard up.
What I'm saying is he had the. It's hard to explain, bro. It's hard to explain.
Was you gonna argue because he had AD?
No, I'm arguing that Marcus Smart is still producing at the same rate that
it's not though.
Jrue Holiday was. Yes, go back to what he was doing in Milwaukee.
Marcus Smart takes more shots. Marcus Smart turns the ball over more. He has a lower field goal percentage. Like I said, Jrue Holiday is averaging the same amount of points that Marcus Smart had on 4 less shots a game, DL. If I can do what you're doing with 4 less shots,
I'm not talking about. I'm just not talking about the overall efficiency, bro. I'm just saying in what they do, because you can even say in prime moments of the game, Marcus Smart has defensive moments in which they're game changers, taking charges. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Kyle Lowry take charges, bro.
In the last 2 minutes of the game, last 3-4 seconds of the game, that is very impactful.
Okay, but we see Drew Holiday rip people.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, it ain't the same thing. That's different. Somebody on the fast break and you stepping up. That's some Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love shit.
Turnover, possession going other way, bro. I don't know. I just feel like they made it to the
result is the same. The result is the same.
And who caused the result? I mean,
what's more deflating?
Dwayne, it doesn't matter. Like the other, it doesn't matter.
Because at the end of the game, when he did an Andrew Nimhart, there was no charge you can get there. I also see Marcus Smart try to get charges to get flops and flop and looking at the referee and the person score a bucket.
That's what the game is come to. I mean, he's playing the game very well. He's playing it, you know what I'm saying?
Like
the IQ's there.
Man, there's no way you can really.
But again, no, by no means am I saying
your argument in the group chat for the people to know. You were saying the Celtics team got worse. That's what you said.
I do. I feel like they traded a lot to get. I'm obviously Drew Holiday is a better player. I think Drew Holiday is a better player. But to give up KP, who's injured, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing the Celtics do what they do without KP. For Robert Williams, who is an elite rim protector, our offers.
What was he always?
A liability on off.
No.
What you mean?
Was he always the? He was always what?
I mean, yeah. When it mattered, he was there though.
No, he wasn't there last year.
He wasn't there game 7 in the Heat game.
He was there all series. He was hurt.
For real? Dang.
And he's barely there.
But still, he was an elite. It's the same thing. Then KP always hurt, but Grant Williams.
But
Grant
KP
Williams
got you to win 64 games this year. So.
No, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown did that, bro.
They win 64 games without KP this year, Theo.
They obviously do it. Come on, you know you're
all right, my point exactly.
Ain't no. But Grant Williams, perimeter defender.
Malcolm Grant Williams was so bad the Mavericks traded him and said, "Please get him out of
this year, bro." He didn't fit the system.
Both teams that he left are about to be in the finals.
He didn't fit the system, bro.
All right, go.
But I don't know.
But you got Drew Holiday that can fulfill the positions of losing. I think he fulfills the position he was on. Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, and Malcolm Brogdon all in one.
I mean, you
know, himself replaced those three players.
But also, Derek White stepped up too this year. So
he did. Step up.
It's just the Celtics
and having Marcus Smart on the. Guess what? Marcus Smart could not play with Derek White. That's why one of them had to come off the bench.
Dwayne, I don't believe that, bro, because they made it to the final, bro. And then the only reason why they didn't make it again was because JT got hurt in the first 5 seconds.
Derek White was not starting on that team when they went to the finals. Yeah,
he wasn't starting, but he was playing.
He was playing, but they didn't play a lot together.
Dwayne, what do you?
I'm just saying.
My God, bro. At the end of the day, they just ran into the Warriors. JT got hurt last year. Drew Holiday is a better player. Same impact.
All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Tell me why Jason Tatum is better than Luka Doncic. And before we get started, I just want to read some career stats for you.
All right, here we go to stats.
We're gonna read some stats. Yeah, just not everything. So JT's been in the league. This is his 8th season. Luka's been in the league for 7 seasons. No, I'm wrong. 7 seasons? Both been in the league for 7 seasons? No, 6 seasons and 7 seasons. Oh, so let's look at 6 seasons. This is JT's 7th season. So, both had 5 All-Star games, right? All NBA first team. Luka has 5. So every year but his rookie year, he's been All NBA first team. JT has 3 total. JT has 4. Obviously, Luka is the scoring leader this year. Rookie of the year. Tatum has none of that. Luka does. Next, stats per game. Luka 28.7, JT 23.1. Rebounds per game. Luka 8.7, JT 77.2. Assists per game, obviously we know that goes to Luka 8.3, JT 3.5. Steals per game.
Would you be surprised? Luka 1.2, Jason Tatum 1.1. Blocks per game 0.5, Luka 0.7, JT. Total points, JT has more. Obviously, he plays one more season than him, but he has about 400 more. He has more rebounds than him, obviously less assists, more steals, more blocks. He's played over 113 more games than Luka. Field goal percentage, Luka is better by 1%, so 47 to 46. 3-point percentage, JT's the better 3-point shooter by 3%. Free throw shooting, JT's the better free throw shooter by 10%. Obviously, the best they've ever done. Luka this year 33.9, so we'll say 34. JT 30.1. Rebounds per game 9.4. Luka. JT 8.8. Assists per game Luka 9.8. JT this year is his career high, not 4.9. Steals 1.4 for Luka, career high this year. 1.4 for JT 2020. And then blocks per game 0.6 for Luka is his highest, and 0.9 for Jason Tatum. In the playoffs, let's bring it down playoffs now. Points per game, Luka 31, JT 24.1. Luka 9.4 rebounds, JT 7.9. Assists, Luka 8.3, JT 4.8. So he's been getting better assisting the ball. 1.6 steals for Luka, 1.1 for JT. Blocks per game, 0.5, 0.9 JT. Total points, Jason Tatum has him almost double. Rebounds, double. Assists, Jason Tatum has more, obviously, because he played more. Steals, 121. Jason Tatum has more. Blocks, Jason Tatum. Total games, 44 to 108. Field goal percentage. So, everybody knows your field goal percentage just tend to go down during the playoffs just because everything gets a little tighter. 45.7, 0.45. So, it was around the 46. No, we'll say 45. 45.7, 4.57 for Luka, 4.43 for Jason Tatum. 3-point percentage, Luka 35%, JT 34%. I'm around at 35. They're both about at 35 because JT was 34 and 9, so I'll say 35. Luka 73, Jason Tatum 83. So 10% again. It's a trend that continues. So that's just their stats in a nutshell. For me, obviously, I think everything on offense, Luka is better than Jason Tatum at. Everything. Defensively, obviously on ball, off ball defense, steals, blocks, Tatum, I give them, but I think Luka's the better rebounder, in my opinion. You think after offense, well, I think you think after scoring and passing, everything else is JT. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's very tight between Luka and JT.
You think he's the better rebounder?
I don't know how to. Dwayne, you just read a bunch of stats that was just
I was just giving people the stats that we can really
irrelevant.
debate. Tell me why JT's better than Luka Doncic.
I'd say JT was better than Luka Doncic per se.
Why do you think?
I said
same
why
framework?
my question to you is, why do you think that everything you just named, you failed to mention that Luka has what, 2 conference finals appearances, and that's it.
2 conference finals appearances.
Yes, compared to what?
Jason Tatum has, I believe, 6.
Okay, and you will say what to that? Your statement will be,
because
we're just gonna go on the hamster wheel of how I can't win the argument because it's two-sided. You know what I'm saying?
It's not two-sided.
Your statement will be.
Obviously, he's been on a team that's been great his entire career. He walked into the door going to the team that was the number 1 seed the year before he was drafted. So the year he got drafted, he joined the team that was the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, got on a great franchise that was able to bamboozle the Brooklyn Nets, so they were able to get some good picks. And yeah, they obviously put together a really good team. Obviously, Jaylen Brown as well. He started his career with Kyrie, then got Kemba. So, they progressed, and he's just been on a far better team year in, year out. A lot of people.
Team. Jason Tatum had a team.
Does he not have a team? Luka finally got a team.
He had a team.
Luka got a team this year.
Okay. Everything, all those stats you just named me,
The funny thing is,
Luka.
Luka. The funny thing is, the year that Jason Tatum didn't get to the finals was the year he actually had Kyrie Irving. Couldn't get there with him.
Kyrie Irving got hurt.
No, Kyrie Irving played the next year.
What was the year that Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward
He got hurt? That was JT's rookie year. He got hurt, and I'm talking about that year. He was hurt, so
yeah,
it was to be nasty. The next year,
go ahead, go through the injuries. Go ahead through the injuries.
The next year, when he was healthy and they were in the playoffs, they lost in the first round.
Okay. And then
Luka gets him, and they make the play, and they make the conference finals in their first 4 years, because they were together for like 30 games last year, in which not even 30. I think he joined the Nets. The Mavs were like 30 games left, but Luka missed like 10 of those. So
I'm trying to figure out which way I want to take this argument, because you argue that Kyrie isn't the number one scoring option on any team, on any championship contending team yet.
I know. I said he's not a superstar. That's what I said.
What a superstar is what? Dwayne, your definition of a superstar is what? The best player on a championship contending team.
That's correct.
Because we argue about this all the time. So they were still doing that with who being the next best player
on that team.
Yeah, are you gonna argue Jaylen Brown when you just named all those stats? We talking about.
I wasn't gonna argue Jaylen Brown. I gotta go look at the rosters. Bro.
You just said all the stats though, Wayne. You said Kyrie wasn't the best player, right?
Wait, when he was on the Celtics?
I'm saying when they were making their runs. I'm not even gonna make this hard. Who were the top? What was the duo that you would say on that team that was making that team?
That 1 year when Kyrie was there?
The years that Jason Tatum was on the Celtics for his 6 appearances in the finals Eastern Conference.
I don't think there was like his first year. I'm not giving him credit for that.
Okay.
No, because that was a team effort. Like they all went crazy. Like Terry Rozier went crazy. Jaylen Brown went crazy. They all went crazy, right? Then the next year, Kyrie was there. I would say it was projected to be Kyrie. But like if you go like going into that season, right? Going into the Jason Tatum rookie year, the actual duo on the team was supposed to be Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward. We can agree there, right? Got Gordon Hayward gets hurt. The next year, I was being nasty. I would say they didn't make it because there was turmoil, because that's when Gordon and Kyrie came back. They were trying to figure out whose team it was. So to
me, it doesn't matter. You just named all the stats. He was dropping 20. He was averaging 26 that season, Dwayne. And I think he was averaging the most. He was averaging 26 plus after his first 3 years, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't start averaging 20 until Kyrie left. That's when he started averaging 20.
Okay, but he was averaging 15, which is still good for a rookie and sophomore. Okay. Third year, 23.
I never said it wasn't. When did I argue that?
And I'm saying this because in doing that, those numbers, he was still with the team. The thing, I feel like Luka has the numbers, and you know why he has the numbers. It's the same thing with Russell Westbrook. He's a 6'8" point guard, and he's going to be on the floor and doing what he does because he's a 6'8" point guard, playmaking, ball handler, ball dominant. No one's taking that away from him. I'm not saying that. My thing is, if he's so great, why does he's playing in the West? I know that's another argument. I get it. But my thing is, if he's that much better than Jason Tatum, why hasn't he won an MVP yet? I mean, Jason Tatum.
A lot of people think he should have won this year.
A lot of people think a lot of people should have.
I'm saying he finished top 3 MVP. Like you know. First of all, DL, you know when MVP comes to politics, your team has to be a top 4, top 3 seed before they really give it to you. You got to be.
I completely understand that, Dwayne.
Yeah,
so which might bring me to my next one. Let's jump off the track for a second. If we saying that, why are you so quick to throw Jason Tatum out of the top 3, top 5 when you got people like Joel Embiid, who you know is a stat pattern, bro? Who hasn't been to the Eastern Conference Finals, bro? Who blew a 3-1 lead last year, bro? But we don't talk about that.
They didn't blow a 3-1 lead
to the Celtics.
It was a 3-2 lead.
3-2. It was 3-1, wasn't it?
It was not 3-1. It was 3-2. Do I consider Joel?
Lead don't matter.
Do I consider Joel Embiid a superstar? You didn't ask me this.
Is he top 3? No. Is he top 3?
He's in my top 3 because
Okay.
obviously he's an MVP. He's been top 3 in MVP the past 3 years, and his team has been up in the standings. Does he choke in the playoff? Yes. So did James Harden. And we still had James Harden as a top 3 player in his prime when he was in his prime.
Because James Harden was having a triple-double as a point. That's the thing, Dwayne. That's why it's so. That's why
he's
so
averaging 30 as a center, 30 and 12. What are we talking
as a
about?
center, bro. He's a center. Like he's a center supposed
It's
to
only
be.
been
Like,
2 centers to ever do that. Him, bro.
so, but we say
Four.
Jokic. We say it's more impressive.
Kareem,
But why?
him,
Shaq, but why do we say Jokic is more impressive? Because he does all 3. You don't think Giannis is better than Embiid, bro? You wouldn't say Giannis is better than Embiid? Come on, Dwayne. Like, come on.
I don't.
If we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, but you don't
gotta
respect him.
I don't. I think Embiid and Giannis are on the same par.
That's crazy. Embiid has Giannis has a championship and an MVP and a defensive player. It's crazy. There was no question about it.
I think they're on par.
No, it's wild. But I don't know. I just feel like
I think Giannis has too many holes in his game for me to put him up there. That's just me personally. He has too many holes in his game.
Yeah. I think Joel Embiid is a stat pattern and a flopper and a free throw merchant, and that's what I don't think. I'm not saying he's not good, but like he's big.
So you think Embiid's better? You think Tatum's better than Embiid?
I'm saying I would pick Tatum before I pick Embiid. That's what I'm saying.
So you think Tatum's better than Embiid?
Take that how you want it, bro.
Nah,
I'm tired of my words getting twisted, bro. I'm saying I would take Jason. Yes, I would take Jason Tatum over Embiid. Yes.
No, is he better?
He's better.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna get
because of course if you play center, you're gonna have.
I'm not gonna start arguing about is he better than Joe.
But no, going back, I just feel like going back to Luka, or Jason Tatum per se. He has a team, okay, but Michael Jordan had a team. Not saying he's Jordan, but what championships teams don't have teams to win? That's why Luka can't get the job done. But my thing,
until you win the
championship contending team, okay, doesn't have a team. Luka might do it this year. You know what I'm saying? But it's more so solely because he has the number 2 option in Kyrie Irving, who played terrible. They both played terrible.
Yeah, they both played terrible yesterday.
But like I said, I'm not saying that Luka is or is not better than Tatum, but I'm just saying it's closer than everybody's.
They should be talked about in the same respect, and you don't.
Yeah,
I don't talk about it in the same respect.
Yeah, I don't like to do.
I don't do it because I don't think they're in the same respect. I think Luka is what Luka does on offense is so superior to me.
So you don't believe
Tatum can't get to him. It's like for me with Giannis. Jokic is so superior offensively. To me, there's nothing Giannis can do for me to say Giannis is better than Jokic.
Oh yeah, but it's that's a bad comparison, bro. That's a bad comparison. Embiid and Giannis is a way better comparison because
I think they're closer. And I think
bro, Giannis and Joker are not close, bro.
No, I'm talking about I think Giannis and Embiid are closer. That's what. Listen, I don't think Tatum and Luka are close. This is what I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
The way I see Giannis and Joker is how I see Jokic, how I see Luka and Tatum.
I don't get it. You're gonna have them stats when you playing point guard, bro.
For me, it's like when people thought KD was in the same realm as LeBron, I didn't think anything KD could do for him to, even with KD and Steph, I didn't think there was anything them two could do for me to ever say, y'all are similar to LeBron. There is nothing they could do.
But that's what I'm
saying. Different because Bron could play some defense. He was athletic. He could do this, that, and
but it was also because LeBron had taken a team straight to the finals, like who was trash and did it 8 times, bro. 8 times straight. That's why. On top of him being athletic, like Luka hasn't done anything but made it to the Western Conference Finals. I get the stats, but again, James Harden did the same thing.
And we were saying James Harden. All right, there was.
And we were saying Harden, and James Harden won MVP though too as well. Yeah. And it was no question.
But it took a while for James Harden to win MVP. Same way it's taking a while for
because Russ was doing the same thing.
Check me out.
Bro,
the way I saw how James Harden was good, I'm trying to think somebody else that was people would at one point say was in this conversation. Like, the way I see how James Harden was good is like if somebody you're talking to me right now is if how good James Harden was, somebody would have came to me and said, "Yo, Paul George just as good as James Harden."
Paul George is just as good as James Harden.
That's how I look at the Luka.
That's crazy, bro. That's disrespectful. But what has Paul George done, bro? What?
Brought them to
7 once. Ooh.
I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else to put it?
Didn't the Celtics beat? Nah, the Cavs beat them.
I'm trying to think. Then there might not be any comparisons, really. I'm trying to think of like an offensive heavy player and somebody that had like two-way potential. All right, so when
you wouldn't give it Bron and Kawhi.
I got you right. This is here perfect right here. Perfect. This is a perfect example. 2019, the Raptors just win the championship. People are saying Kawhi is the best player in the world because of his two-way ability and what he does. For me, there was never a world where Kawhi Leonard was on the same level as LeBron James. Never a world. Never a world. And that's how I view this conversation right now.
I get that. But again, Bron won. Luka hasn't done anything. It's like the reverse. It's like reverse. But you just looking at the talent in the wrong way. Like what Jason Tatum has accomplished, Bron accomplished. You know what I'm saying? But you're putting the skills the opposite way. So I feel what you're saying, but
Jason hasn't won either, though.
Huh?
Tatum hasn't won either, though.
But he's accomplished more at the same age. You would say 5. You would say 5.
Same age. Somebody was in the league before him.
You said 7 years.
Yeah, it's a 1 year difference.
All right, whatever. 5 All Pros, 3 All Pros, or 3 All Pros.
All right, is it easier to get into the East in the conference finals in the East or the West, Mo?
I'm not denying that. That's why he's done it. That's why he's done it. That's why he's done it.
If Luka was in the East, what do you think Luka would be doing in the East right now?
We don't know.
All right, so that's that.
We don't know because we don't know. We really don't.
And that's why when you tell me he accomplished more, it means nothing to me because I don't care about the team accolades. I'm looking at their game, and when I look at their game and I see these two players play on the court together, I can distinguishedly tell the difference and tell who is the best player on the floor right now.
I mean, I don't. You have your perspective on how you see what's what, but I just feel like Jason Tatum doesn't have to do what Luka does because, like you said, he doesn't have to, bro. You just told me
he's getting better at it, but he doesn't have the ability to do what Luka.
What do you mean he doesn't have the ability to do it? When you're how do you say that when you're not when you're not just the only player who's good on your team?
Yeah, does he have the playmaking ability as Luka Doncic?
Dwayne, he dropped. Did he not drop? How many points has he dropped in his career? Didn't he have a career high? What?
Yeah, does he have
in the playoffs?
Ability
Yes, because he's more athletic than Luka Doncic, bro. So they cancel out in different aspects of the game offensively. That's what you're not understanding. I feel like you don't understand. Like, what do you mean?
He's the same
Luka is all dominant.
He's the same level of playmaker as Luka Doncic.
I'm gonna explain this to you one last time. Luka is ball dominant, so we see him bring the ball up court and run the offense through Luka. That's why we're able to see how good of a playmaker he is. I'm not saying that Jason is or is not,
in the finals when they played, who had to be the playmaker for the Celtics? Who did the Warriors make the playmaker for the Celtics?
That was 2 years ago. I don't remember that series, bro.
It was Jason Tatum. They forced Jason Tatum to be a playmaker, and that's why he played so shitty.
What you mean, play? He was getting double team. They weren't making shots.
He wasn't shitty in the. He was turning up, but he had the most turnovers in playoff history.
Bro, come on, it's the Warriors.
What?
It's the Warriors.
Before the Warriors, he still had the.
Man, we talking about one game, bro.
I'm talking about a playoff series. I'm talking about a playoff postseason run.
I mean, we talking about one instance, bro. You're trying to nitpick, bro.
He's not a great.
I just told you that anybody who's a starter or a superstar in the league
over the last 2 years.
And we'll see, bro. We'll see because matter of fact, Luka better worry about getting past Ant because don't let him get one and don't let him get two. The next game in Minnesota. So let's worry about that. Let's worry about him and Kyrie shooting 9 for what they shoot yesterday. At one point, Luka was like 4 for 30, I think.
He did not. He took 20.
Let's talk about that.
We talked about the game yesterday.
Yeah,
Honestly, Luka and them didn't play the best yesterday. I think there's a formality. I think they win in Game 5. Probably win better to win on their home court, but they want to get us over. I think they know they can't make it yet to Game 6, so they want to win in Game 5. So I think they'll win in Game 5. But just talking about the series in general, what Luka, the thing that the Wolves did, they switched up the matchup yesterday. They put Jaden McDaniels on Kyrie and put Ant on Luka. So it made a little bit of sense. Because Ant is terrible off ball. His off ball defense is absolutely terrible. So they moved him on ball so he could play a little bit better defense and do better things. Because I don't know if you watched the game. When there was Game 3. Did you watch him leave PJ Washington open after he told Mike Conley to switch?
Mm-hmm.
I lost my mind. I'm looking at that play. I'm like, I see the shit. I know Luka see it. I'm like, what is he doing right now? 104, 107, like that. But not. What happened was Cat finally showed up a little bit, even though he fouled out. To me, the biggest reason why Minnesota's losing this series is mainly because of offensively, Rudy Gobert is not good, so they're guarding them 4 on 5. The Derek Lively, whoever, Ant can't get to the paint because of him. And I think to me, the T-Wolves great run. I think the T-Wolves will be better on a better run if they had someone more like Miles Turner, in my opinion, because he's able to spread the floor. So Ant will their offense would be better. Their defense would probably go down. Probably wouldn't be the best defense in the league, but it still be a top 5 defense with a Miles Turner and then their offense will be significantly better because of the ability to spread the floor and give Ant more driving lanes. Ant doesn't have driving lanes because you have Jaden McDaniels, he can shoot, but he's not a shooter. Cat's bricking. Mike Conley can shoot. And then you go out there, you have Rudy out there, and they don't respect Rudy. Rudy Gobert, every time he catches the ball, he loses it. I don't get it. I don't understand how he has the worst hands. He's been in the league for 10 years and doesn't have any type of offensive move. You can't be in the league for 10 years and don't have any type of offensive move. So to me, that's really why I've been losing. We've been talking about their defense. It's their offense to me why they've been losing because Ant's unable to be effective because of the presence of Rudy Gobert he's not even a good lob threat, and that's also because Ant's not a great playmaker. So he's not able to really throw lobs and everything. He told us that already. When they asked him to throw a lob, he said, I'm going to throw that shit over the backboard if you ask me to do that. That's why they're losing. And that's been their biggest downfall. Obviously, Kyrie and Luka in the clutch, they've been amazing through the first 4 games. Obviously, yesterday they weren't that good. But they've been amazing for the most part. So, for me, the reason why they've been mainly losing is because offensively they haven't done anything, and then defensive lapses in the main. Like, for example, Chubb just say he think he tore his calf muscle. That's what he gets for being fat. But yeah, that's what I've been seeing so far in this series. I still think they win in 5. Question for you though: if they were to win, obviously we're just gonna play this game. Does Kyrie have a chance to get Western Conference Finals MVP?
Does he have a chance to get Western? No, they're gonna give it to Luka regardless.
No. No.
I mean, Luka had 20. He shot 33%, but he had 20. He still had 28 and 13 and 8, whatever. He still snapped again because I mean, Lively was out too. I think the Timberwolves are just clearly the better. I think they're the better team, but it's kind of a situation with like how it was with the Nuggets and the Lakers, being up, not being able to maintain the lead, not being able to stay consistent, turn the ball over, and Gobert getting in foul trouble. They had 3 fouls. Finch's decision to leave Cat in right before right in the third quarter, and he picking up that 5th foul was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you do that? Like, Cat fouls are like the dumbest fouls I've ever
like
seen.
that pump, he pump fake and then threw an elbow. That was stupid. But yeah, I think if Cat put the ball on the ground more, get to the rack, it's going to be a lot more of a problem. But again, Derek Lively was out. That definitely played a factor. Still was a close game. But I think that the Timberwolves can make this a series. Like I said, because they're the better team. Any given night, Kyrie Irving can go cold, which is, why I see your point behind him not being the number one option. I still think he's a superstar. I just think he's a very inconsistent one.
For me, I think Kyrie had the opportunity to be a superstar once he left Cleveland, but he failed there. And to me, like for example, why I say people aren't superstars. To me, once you get the superstar mantle, it can't be taken away from you. Type shit. Like Braun, Curry, KD. Once they earn it, you pretty much earn it and you keep it until you're retired. Right? You can have phase where you play like a superstar player, but you're not a superstar. Right? You like for me. That's just for me, right? Like to me, and people are gonna probably say I'm crazy for saying this. I feel like James Harden was probably the closest person to get to it out of anybody that I don't consider a superstar. Like for me, again, only superstars are KD, Steph, and Braun in this era. That's 5 like superstars. I think Luka's like right there for me, and then I think does Tatum have a chance? I think if Tatum were to win this championship and then go on an MVP like run next year.
See, it's
he would make
people like you. It's people like you who diminish what he's done because literally, if Tatum beats Luka in the finals, bro, he's a superstar. If he's not, he's if anything.
What if
nothing else?
What if he's not the best player?
I don't care.
What if they win? But Luka clearly is the best player, and they
Dwayne,
won.
I do not care. Jason Tatum is
to me. That's crazy.
That's crazy to me because he's played very consistent in the past 3 series, and like you said, when it comes to game time decisions and game management on the fly calls and all of that, that's different. That's completely different. Like, but if you get the win, like you're contributing in some way. If he's just pooping it up, obviously turn the ball over, this, that, and the third, I get it. But there's no way that you can.
If he's not the best player on his team, best player on the court, then I can't say he's.
So what if
he's just outplayed by Jaylen Brown and Luka?
No, don't even say
the best
Brown. Don't even say Jaylen Brown. What if Derek White is the best player that entire series, offensively and defensively? What would you say about Derek White?
I would say Derek White is going to get paid, and he's probably going to have an opportunity to be in a what type of role? I don't think he'll be because he's older. Let me see how old Derek White is. Yeah, he's 29, so I don't see anybody giving him the capabilities to be a Jalen Brunson type role. But I think he can.
So Dwayne Wade wasn't a superstar when he was winning with the Heat and LeBron. He wasn't the best player in the series.
Dwayne Wade was a superstar after D-Wade became a superstar when he
Would you have considered Dwayne Wade a superstar in that series?
I think
Based on his play.
Like I said, once you earn the superstar
Or did you?
mantle, you can't. You can't.
That's weak, bro.
Dwayne Wade was a top 3 player in the league.
I understand that, Dwayne. That's not the question, though. That's not the question. What I'm trying to say is,
to me, Dwayne Wade was already solidified as a superstar.
I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, did Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen contribute enough for LeBron to be, you know what I mean?
Braun was already a superstar.
I get it. I get it.
Already a superstar. So to me, they were already superstars.
Like,
for example, people get mad at me.
Know what I'm saying?
How accomplished is Jimmy Butler since he's been with the Miami Heat? And I don't consider him a superstar.
Because he hasn't done anything. He has no all pros. Like, what are you talking about?
He was just all NBA last season. What are you talking about, DL?
All NBA what? Second team?
Yes.
That's irrelevant, Dwayne. And how many years?
This year is irrelevant then.
What?
Tatum this year is irrelevant.
You can call it irrelevant. He still has 3 first-team all pros. Compared to Jimmy Butler's what?
It's only relevant if you're first team. That's what you just said. I want you to clarify.
If that's how you no.
If that's relevant if you're first team.
No, what I'm saying is the Jason Tatum's 4 all pros is better than Jimmy Butler's 1 second team all pro. Again, I repeat, Jason Tatum's 4 overall all pros are better than Jimmy Butler's 1 second team NBA all pro. That's what I'm saying. Clip it. Like, stop trying to twist my words. I hate when you do that.
But Jimmy Butler has more than Jimmy Butler has one than one. They have the same amount of all pros. So I'm not even gonna do this.
How many he got? How many first team? How many first team? First team.
You said all pros matter, don't matter. So
how many years has Jimmy Butler been in the league? Dwayne,
all pros matter or they don't matter.
I hate you, bro.
All pros matter or they don't matter.
Oh my God. How many first teams, bro?
Do all pros matter or they don't matter? Yes or no?
Next question, bro.
That's the next question. You shitting on Jimmy Butler for not making
you up, bro. You brought
in the league with prime KD, prime Paul George, and prime Kevin Durant.
And none of them are superstars either, right? So it's irrelevant. Who's not? Well, you say KD and LeBron. Those are only 2 of the.
He played in the league with 2. He in the league with prime KD and no one was getting first team.
Hey, and who beat Jimmy Butler? Who put Jimmy Butler out the playoffs 2 years ago?
Who put Jason Tatum out the
playoffs? Yeah, I mean, hey,
twice. Who's beating him more? Who's beating who more?
I mean, if you want to say it's 2 and 2.
It's not 2-2. Jimmy didn't play.
Hey, you're part of the team.
He didn't play.
Best ability is availability. He's irrelevant.
That's crazy. Now we're being nasty here today. I mean, absolutely.
You brought up Jimmy Butler. I don't know why you brought up Jimmy Butler. What my point was saying, you're just saying.
No, because you're talking about accomplishment.
It stemmed from me saying. Oh my God! It stemmed from me saying just because you're not the best player per se in that series doesn't mean you're not a superstar. Like, if the worst player on the team performs the best, is he a superstar or you know what I mean? It could be the reason why they won.
I agree with that, but you cannot elevate to superstar status based off winning a finals in which you were not the best player. And history was gonna say if he don't win the finals MVP, they're gonna say Jason Tatum wasn't the best player in the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals.
And why are we batting an eye at the fact that he did win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP as well?
We're talking about this year.
I'm just saying we said, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown won it this year. Well, Jason Tatum won it 2 years ago, so maybe it was a pity award. You know, maybe we'll just say that.
That's crazy. You're being nasty today.
30, 10, and 8, 46% shooting. Head scratcher. Not scratch my chin.
Listen, he had timely buckets. He guarded the harder assignment.
You told me that whatchamacallit was a perimeter player and more so a rebounder because KP was hurt. Stop, Dwayne. He was averaging 10 rebounds. He had 13 rebounds one game.
Who? Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
No, he has to. Yeah, KP's not there. Al Horford could barely jump.
So yeah,
You know it's true.
that's
That
why.
boy
That's
barely-
why.
He barely
Impact.
could jump.
Impact. But you know, the narrative for me, and I'll just say this: the narrative is, I don't bash people who say Luka's better than Tatum. I just don't think there's no definitive evidence to prove that he is.
I just gave you definitive evidence.
You know, you gave me stats.
I just told you he's way better offensively than him. Like what?
That's your paint, Dwayne. That's your that.
Wait, DL, is it?
He's because that's just he's better offensively, Dwayne. But I feel like overall, Jason Tatum is a better player. We keep on going back to that.
Does he play better on ball and off ball defense? That's the only thing he's better at him then.
Because in 48 minutes, Dwayne, I'm liking a two-way effort from Jason Tatum more than I am from Luka. Overall.
Do you like the two-way effort more than you like it from Jokic and Tatum?
No.
Why not?
No. Because honestly, I'm not saying Joker is not better than Tatum. But if I was picking my team, I would pick Tatum first.
You would rather start a team with Jason Tatum than start a team with Joker?
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Let's get to these power rankings because what you're saying right now is blasphemy. Blasphemy.
Two-way player. Better two-way player, man. I'm taking two-way players.
This is absolutely blasphemy, Smooth. I can't believe these words. Can't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. Like I can't believe them, man. But let's go ahead and get to this thing, man. Let's get ahead and get to it. So we're gonna rank the teams. Chubbs broke his calf somehow, so I don't think he's gonna be here. But we're gonna rank these teams.
I'm still here.
I can tell. I was like, damn, I said Chubbs not gonna be here. I didn't say he wasn't gonna be here no more. So I want to rank some teams 1 through 10, post draft, post everything, and get your thoughts before we head out of here today. So I want us to use this as a collective, and we're gonna make some arguments here on who we think deserves to be ranked in the top 10 in the power rankings. So my first question for you, based on moves, people they added, everything that's happened, who would you rank as the number 10 team going into next year?
Going into next year, the number 10 team. Let me take a look. This is hard. You know what? I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna say Commanders.
Why are you being so nasty right now?
I'm gonna say Commanders.
Why? Why are the Commanders the number 10 team?
I honestly think.
Wait, and before you go into detail, I'm gonna give you their projected starting team next year. So they're projected to have starting at QB, Jaden Daniels, obviously, Brian Robinson Jr., and obviously they have also Eckler, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Luke McCaffrey, Zach Ertz, Cornelius Lucas, Nick Algieri, who they just picked up, Tyler Bidas, who they also picked up, Samuel Cosman, Andrew Wiley. On the defensive end, it looks like they're going to run a nice little 3-4 with Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Jason Newton, who they just added, Dorian Armstrong, Kenan Farrell, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, Benjamin St. Juste, Emmanuel Forms, Mike Sancho, Jeremy Chin, and Derek Foster. Why do you think the Commanders are going to be the number 10 team going into next year?
I think because at least they'll win their division. I'm not winning their division. They'll be competing to win their division. I'm not gonna say definitively win. I just don't think that division did too much this offseason either. The Cowboys didn't do too much. The Giants didn't really impress anybody. Well, me per se. The only team I think who's kind of experienced and I feel like will do something is the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, I just think starting off with that division, I feel like they'll have a chance to come out of that division. But on top of their offensive arsenal, bro, they have a good running back room. Jaden Daniels is projected to come in and be good with that off. Dang, who's their quarterback? Not quarterback, coach now.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, and then they Kingsbury, right?
Yeah, they got Kingsbury as offense coordinator.
So yeah, I think he'll connect well with McLaurin. I know they lost Curtis Samuel, but gain another receiver. Still have Jahad Dawson, but offensively, I feel like they'll be fine. And they have a solid defense, but again, I think of the teams who did do stuff this offseason, they're one of the teams who did do good. So top 10. I don't think that's a bad spot to have them. Looking at some of these other teams, I'm looking at.
I'm high on the Commanders, but you're clearly extremely high on the Commanders. Extremely high on the Commanders. So I'm gonna go, man. And my projected top 10 team, I'm going to start with us. Might be a little biased.
I have you higher than that. I have you higher.
Yeah, it was higher than that. See, I respect that. I'm gonna start with us at 10. Obviously, our projected lineup is going to be Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, George Pickens, Van Jefferson, and Roman Wilson. I don't like what we did with our running back, our wide receiver room, but I actually like what we really did with our offensive line, which is going to be left tackle Trey Fanu, Isaac Loon, Zach Frazier, James Daniels, and Broderick Jones. On the defensive end, Cameron Hayward, Keanu Benton, who had a great year last year, obviously TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, Eldon Roberts, Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson, and we have Minka Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott. I think we're going to do some really good things to be able to run the ball really well. Arthur Smith is going to come in and give us some well-needed, fresh offense that's needed, nothing still like we had the past 3 to 4 years in the Canada era. So I really like what we did offensively. So I think what we did with obviously our quarterback, we had a terrible quarterback. We improved. No matter how bad people think Russell Wilson was last year, he was not worse than Kenny Pickett. So we're improving mentally, and I got us as a top 10 team going into next year. Who would you put at number 9, Smooth?
At number 9, I'm gonna have to go with the New York Jets.
New York Jets. All right. New York Jets. What do you like about the Jets and what they did this offseason?
Getting offensive linemen to protect Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, him coming back is going to be the biggest part of the offense. I think they was in a good position to make a run last year. The whole defense is returning. Looking at their roster, DJ Reed, Tony Adams.
I give you the projected starting lineup if you want.
Yeah.
So their projected starting lineup is Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Malachi Corley, Tyler Conklin, Tyron Smith, John Simpson, Joe Tipton, Ali Vertucker, Morgan Moses, Quentin Williams, Javon Kinlaw, Jermaine Johnson, Hassan Reddick, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed Jr., Michael Carter II, Tony Adams, and Chuck Clark. So, I like what they did, too. I think they did some good things. Actually had them a little bit higher than where you have them, a few spots above. But, yeah. For me, the number 9 team, I think, is going to be Cincinnati Bengals. I think Cincinnati Bengals are going to be, obviously, Joe Burrow's going to return from injury. I like what some moves that they made this offseason as well. I think keeping T. Higgins is a good one. But you know, T. Higgins getting Mike Gesicki, who I think is going to be really, really good for them. Getting some more offensive linemen by going ahead and getting Trent Brown. Obviously, you went ahead and drafted a rookie too. So they made some good moves. I like what they did. Geno Stone, they actually picked up a good corner, Cameron Taylor-Britt as well. So I like some of the moves that they made this offseason. Obviously, they did lose some people, but also like that they got some people. Zach Moss is going to be a great pickup for them also. So Jermaine Burton, who I think is going to be killer, I think he's going to be way better for them than what Tyler Boyd did, and which is actually crazy to say. So I have the Bengals. Who you got, Smooth, at number 8?
And number 8, dang.
What you thinking? You want me to throw some teams out there potentially?
No, I'm looking at them. It's just how I want to order them. Like, it's literally how I want to order them. I'm gonna go with for number 8. I'm gonna go Green Bay. I think Green Bay's gonna be a top 8.
Hey, we right there, Smooth. That's my number 8 too.
I think Green Bay's gonna be the number 18.
So we both got the Packers. Why do you have the Packers? I got my reasons, but
I think the Detroit Lions are definitely going to win that division. Chicago Bears are definitely going to compete, but I think they're still the Chicago Bears. They're not going to get it done in 1 year. Obviously, Jordan Love is more experienced playing with his team. And the Minnesota Vikings just lost Kirk Cousins, and I don't know how. JJ McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
JJ McCarthy is going to play with, in his first year. I'm not putting, my money on him. So I think, again, when it comes to the division, they'll be competing to win the division. I was impressed with what they did last year. Romeo Dobbs is definitely going to be key this year because of what he did last year. Looking at their roster, and what they added or projected. What's the deal with Jair? Still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, same defense from last year, pretty much. Pretty Walker, yep. So yeah, I just like the Green Bay Packers. Again, based off of what they did last year. So got no, they got Josh Jacobs. Yep.
Yeah, they get Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
So that was my big. They got Josh Jacobs. They picked up Xavier McKinney. So I like the moves that they made. Obviously, I think Jordan Love's going to take that big leap for me. I think he's going to be by the end of the year. We're talking about Jordan Love being the top 5 quarterback in the league. So that's just me. I'm very high on Jordan Love, as anybody who's listened to this podcast knows. So yeah, that's where I have them. Number 7.
7, I have the Steelers.
Why do you have it so high?
Because I really don't think the Bengals are going to be the Bengals that we've seen over the years. Just because Joe Burrow returns, obviously they lost T. Higgins. They lost Jesse Bates. I think the only team that's really going to compete. Well, I don't know. The Browns. I forgot about the Browns. But I like what the Steelers did in the offseason to a team that's always in the debate to be in the playoffs. Always 8-8, 9-8, or whatever the case may be. Always split with the Ravens. So, they always give themselves a chance every single year. And I think this year they got a lot better. George Pickens being the number 1 receiver. See how that plays out well for y'all. Russell Wilson added to y'all. Najee Harris being a consistent back. So I just like what y'all did. And I think it's going to get y'all over the hump to maybe compete for AFC title. Not Super Bowl. AFC title.
All right. I got the Jets. I think anytime you get a healthy Aaron Rodgers means a lot.
some additional pieces, improved the offensive line. Got Hassan Reddick, so I like what they did. So I have them there. Malachi Corley is going to be a big pickup for them as well, as I mentioned previously. For the offensive line immensely. So yeah, I got them there, man. 6.
At number 6, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Whoa! Why do you have the Eagles at 6?
I think last year they just got off to a hot start and then pooped it up for the end of the season. I don't think that's going to happen this year. And they've been very consistent over the past 2 years. Jalen Hurts is top 4 quarterback. And obviously they lost a few things on defense, but they got rid of their DBs. Thank God, got some new DBs. And who did they pick up?
Saquon. That's why I'm.
I'm talking about DB. Yeah, DB.
Oh, DB. They got TJ
yeah.
back. They got Cooper DeJean. They picked up in the draft as well.
Quinyon, right?
And they got Quinyon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're covered now, and they got Darius Slay. So I think they're covered now on the defensive back side. And I think that's what they was really hurting at last year. Adding Saquon Barkley is ridiculous. Re-signing AJ Brown, ridiculous to that contract. You see that contract, right?
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, probably the best number 2 receiver in the league.
We said that. We think he's the best number 2 in the league. So
yeah, Dallas Goedert. The Eagles. I literally think the Eagles just pooped it up the last half of the season, but it won't be like that. I think they'll win that division and probably end up back in the NFC Championship.
All right. For me, I have the Lions here. I think they're going to still compete on a high level, but still they're going to be on a high level. I just don't think that they're just going to get there yet. I did like some of the moves they made this offseason as well. Getting DJ Reader is like huge pickup for them. So I really like some of the moves Detroit led. Am I still trusting in Jared Goff? Not really. Not trusting in Jared Goff. Not really. Really still not a believer in him. But their defense did get better. Getting Marcus Davenport, getting DJ Reader. Obviously, you got Carlton Davis. You picked up Terry and Arnold. So he did make some good moves. So I do want to see what they do. And they also, I just want to see what they do. So I have them there. Who do you have at number 5?
At number 5, I have the Houston Texans.
We got the same number 5. Trying to see who you got up here that I don't have up here. All right, so you got Texans. Why? Obviously, we know they made some moves. Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, Jeff Okuda, made some really, really, really big moves this offseason. Obviously, I think we were both expecting CJ Stroud to even take another leap from what he did last year. But yeah, give me whatever reasons you have for having them in this position.
Basically everything you just said. We didn't expect them to do what they did last year. And they only got better.
And they got Danielle Hunter too. So and then they go Archery.
Yeah.
So yeah. Shit.
Their offensive arsenal is kind of crazy. Damian Pierce being your number 2, says something. Adding Stephon Diggs, we'll definitely see if Diggs can get back to what he used to be like.
Shout out Nico Collins, he just got paid too.
Yeah. So just and that division isn't really impressive either. The Titans lost a lot, didn't really do too much that was impressive in the offseason. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Calvin Ridley to Jerry Sneed, you don't like that?
Calvin Ridley. All he did was trade conferences. Trade teams in the same division. Like with Will Levis. Was that but yeah, I think honestly the Colts might have a better record than the other 2 teams. With Anthony Richardson come back.
It's going to happen.
So
don't you worry. It's going to happen, buddy. All right. Yeah. Who you got next?
At number 3, Oh, this is four. At number four.
Four.
I have the Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins. You want to hear a hot take? They are not in my top 10.
They are not in your top 10.
Why do you have the Dolphins here at 4?
I just think they were plagued with a lot of injuries last year. Honestly, our division sucks.
The division does not suck, Dale.
But we suck. The Jets are the only. The Bills suck now. Kenyon Coleman is not going to be that much, of an impact to where they're competing for the top spot. He's just a deep threat. But, the Bills got extremely worse on defense. No cap room. We keep on saying that. But, the Miami Dolphins, they return, they get their people back healthy. Buddy, who was it, Buddy? Adams? I'm thinking about. Well, I know Jerome Baker got hurt in the playoffs, but who was the other dude who got hurt early on, the rookie? Name slipped in my mind.
Who got hurt for the Dolphins?
Jalen, what's his name? Jalen? Yeah, the DN, stand-up DN.
Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, Jalen Phillips. Yeah. He come back healthy. I think they're gonna be pretty, dangerous on the defensive line. Obviously, they got Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. The two can play consistent. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, two of the best receivers in the league. So there's no reason why they shouldn't compete. But that's just me. That's just my reasoning. Didn't do too much in the offseason, but again, they didn't lose too much either. I feel as though
they also the tackle, pretty big person. Wilkins is gone. That's why they're not in my top 10 for me personally. When Wilkins is gone, I couldn't put them top 10. But I get it. My number 4 is the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, the addition of Derrick Henry. I think that was a good addition. They did lose some offensive linemen, but I still think they're top 4. They're a great regular season team. Lamar Jackson, MVP. So yeah, I have them at number 4. Number 3, who you got?
Number 3, I have the Detroit Lions.
High on the Lions.
I think they'll be right back in the
NFC Championship?
Yeah, the NFC Championship.
That's tough. At number 3, I have the 49ers. I think they'll be back in the NFC Championship as well. Pretty good team right around. I really like the pick of Ricky Purcell. So I, obviously bring everybody back. So they did lose Terry Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, but one thing we know, they're great at producing defensive linemen. So I think they'll find some other pieces, have somebody pop out that we didn't know about before. Number 2.
I got the Chiefs at number 2.
Chiefs at number 2. I also have the Chiefs at number 2. I have them at number 2. I wanted to give them respect as the reigning back-to-back champions, but the team I have at number 1 made too many additions to their team this offseason for me not to put them at number 1. You didn't say the 49ers yet. So,
well, I think my honest opinion, if anything, they'll be 10. But that's what I was going to start with. I just think that they're going to have Brock Purdy figured out.
You think so?
I really think Brock Purdy would be figured out.
Didn't play last year. That's why. But I think
they'll be good on defense. They're definitely going to be good on defense. But
I'm saying now, defense and offense still gonna be good for me.
It's still gonna have good players, but I feel like Brock Purdy.
And that's all you need. You can figure out Kishore McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. Trust me, Ricky Purcell is nice. He can have a Puka Nacua type season. He can have that type season. He can have a 1,000-yard season, third wide receiver on the team because how crisp his routes. Him and Brandon Ayuk. You're going to see a lot of Deebo Samuel playing in the slot, and they're going to be able to utilize him a lot more. But yeah, that's why I had the 49ers there. But obviously the Chiefs, they added Xavier Worthy, but they did lose some big pieces. You lose Edwards at safety. You lose L'Jarius Sneed, right? You lose some people in the linebacker room. Lose some offensive linemen as well. Obviously, offensive line still gonna be good, but lost a lot of pieces. But you did add Xavier Word, you added Marquise Brown. I just feel like they didn't add enough, in my opinion, for me to really take that. We'll see what they do. They usually do a good job with the rookies that they draft, and they're impactful. So Leo Chenal finally get the start. So we'll see. We'll see. Your number one. Who's your number one?
The Ravens.
The Ravens are your number one team. You left the 49ers out. That's really, really crazy.
I told you they'd be 10. They'd be 10 if anything.
But you got the Commanders there. So
yeah, I got the Commanders. Yeah.
My number one is the Eagles, who you had at 6 for me, which is crazy. But tell me why you have the Ravens at 1.
I just think the Ravens just are a good team on paper, and I'm not a Ravens fan, but I don't hate the Ravens. You know what I mean? I root for them because it's my home, state, whatever. But I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson. I don't like all of the critique that he gets, but I understand it. But I just feel like every year they're right there, and that's basically what I'm going off of. What they've been doing every year, they're consistent every year. When Lamar's healthy, but adding Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers is blossoming. Mark Andrew coming back. I think they'll be fine on offense. Obviously, again, I think the only team that will give them a problem in your division is the Steelers. And then their defense has always been pretty good. So, the best thing they did was get rid of Greg Roman, which is crazy because I had a Derrick Henry now. He would have loved that. But yeah, I mean, it's really no real reason, just based off of what the Ravens have done in the past. I think they're just a consistent team. When Lamar Jackson's healthy, they can do a lot. So yeah, that's just my take.
I don't hate it, man. I definitely don't hate it. I definitely see the Ravens being considered a top team. For me, it's the Eagles. You added Saquon Barkley. You added C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You added, to me, the best corner in the draft in Quinyon Mitchell. And you get Cooper DeJean, somebody that can play corner and safety. Very versatile player. Yeah, I just think, you got some good pieces. Obviously, Kelsey's gone. But you have Cam Jurgens, who Kelsey told you to draft to replace him because he thought that was the next great guy. So I'm interested in him. And I also think Jalen Hurts was hurt last year. That's why he was not his best of himself towards the end of the year because he just wasn't healthy. So, yeah, man, this is our top 10s. For audio, just to clarify, Smooth's top 10 is Ravens at 1, Chiefs at 2, Lions at 3, Dolphins at 4, Texans at 5, 6 the Eagles, 7 the Steelers, 8 Packers, 9 New York Jets, 10 the Commanders. And then Wayne's top 10 is Steelers at 10, Bengals at 9, Packers at 8, Jets at 7, Lions at 6, Texans at 5, Ravens at 4, 49ers at 3, Chiefs at 2, and the Philadelphia Eagles at number 1, man. And, folks, that is the end of the podcast. Smooth, you got anything you want to say to people before we get up out of here?
Yeah. Hopefully Luka can get it done.
That works.
So
if Luka does that, then I could just boost up Ant.
Which is crazy. That you hear that? That's why I can never win an argument because
Oh no, I'm going to shit on Luka and Kyrie if they lose.
But you still gonna have.
If Ant were to do that, he solidified the face of the league. It doesn't matter what happened in the finals.
Oh yeah.
If he were to come 100%. Back from 3-1 and win, he solidified face of the league next year.
So my question is, if Jason Tatum does what he's supposed to do as far as winning the NBA Finals, obviously you don't think that's going to happen. What should be? I'm not saying what is the narrative. What should be the narrative regarding
I think
Jason Tatum?
Propels himself in top 5 conversations, and if he were to repeat next year, he then puts himself closer to the top best player in the world. But like I said, if he were to win finals MVP, and then have an MVP performance like throughout the season next year, like it's undeniable top 3 MVPs, I'd be like, he's a superstar, and there's nothing I can say.
So we have to wait another whole year for this conversation.
For the superstar conversation, absolutely. Yeah.
That is insane. That conversation.
We didn't say Steph was a superstar when he won his first championship. It wasn't until he won the unanimous MVP where it's like, all right.
You didn't say Steph was a superstar before his first championship. You
said Bradley Beal was a superstar, so you got to take what you say with Bradley.
I said Bradley Beal was a superstar for 2 years.
You can't be a superstar for a short period of time. It's either a superstar or you're not.
Man, averaging 30 is superstar caliber, bro. Like, I don't know.
You could get buckets.
You a stat and you a numbers guy. I don't get that.
It was on terrible efficiency. He was just throwing shit up. Caris LeVert with a green light.
Yes. First of all, what Caris LeVert what was he at in the Cleveland series?
He had the green light.
He trying Bradley Beal, bro.
I thought Bradley Beal get swept and cooked for an entire series. So, am I?
Luka shot 33%. He can't be doing that, man.
He can't. He can't. Gotta be better. Gotta be a lot better. But it's hard when the face of the league is guarding you, you know? Hey, man. Till next time, we'll holler at you guys.